Hello everyone and welcome to Danny's Retro Reviews. Our first review, Boogerman, a pick and flick adventure released by Interplay Entertainment in 1994. Interplay was also responsible for bringing us Earthworm Jim, but that's for another time. Our story begins at Professor Stinkbomb's lab, who has built a machine which can send pollution to another dimension. When the power source is stolen, the eccentric millionaire Snotty Ragsdale, or rather his alter ego, Boogerman, has to save the day. Can't believe I just said that. Now, as you can see, the controls are fairly simple. You can run, you can jump, you can even dig through the dirt to find extra items. The cape allows you to get hit an extra time, similar to the mask from Crash Bandicoot. Plungers you see dotted around the level once added up allow you to access a special stage once you reach the end of the level. The enemies are typical, jumping on them, flicking your bogies, or even burping has no particular problem killing them until later levels. You'll notice the burp meter at the top right hand corner of the screen, and the way to replenish that is by grabbing those gas canisters. This outhouse acts as your checkpoint, which means that if you die, you'll start from here and at the beginning. As well as burping, farting and flicking your bogies at these monsters, there are also a number of, well, let's call them special abilities you get by obtaining several items within the game. The milk allows you to fire loogies, and the chilies allow you to burp and fart fire, as well as limited flight. Ha! I got two at once. Like most platform games, you have your end of level bosses, and the first one introduced to is Hick Boy. His main attacks involve throwing his chicken at you like a boomerang, and then firing eggs at you from the chicken's bum. It's not exactly a difficult boss, with this being the first level, but there's plenty more to come. As you can see, the levels are very similar to one another. The only difference being is that there may be more monsters, and even different types of monsters appear in different levels of the game. But anyway, the second level won't be difficult, you won't have any trouble reaching the next boss. The second level boss fight is against Revolta, and as you can see it's a very similar fight against Hick Boy. There is a ledge on either side, and your main concern is to get across to each ledge when she comes towards you. Just simply avoid the storm clouds and the kissy faces and flick bogies at her, and you'll be all set. And I should point out that the easiest way to defeat these bosses is by flicking your bogies, and this continues on throughout the whole game. Now, onto Booger Town. Now, Booger Town introduces a very new monster by the name of Puss Monster. Now, by jumping on this creature, you will get hit, so the best way is to take him out at a distance. Also, if you get too near him, he will explode, so don't get too close. Now, the third level monster is very unique in that there are no ledges on either side of the screen. There is a trampoline in the middle, and the best way of taking out Flyboy is to jump on the trampoline and then land on him. Now, his loogies can hit, so just keep out the way. As you can see, I didn't just then. Now we're in the fourth level. Now, as you can see, there's a brand new creature, just looks sort of like a ghost, and he'll charge you when you get within range. And the difficulty for this level has been turned up. There are quite a few enemies to avoid, which can be quite interesting. But the main gripe with this game is that the levels are very repetitive. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more variety in this game, but then again, the game is only 10 levels long, not counting the bosses. It could have been longer. The fourth level boss's name is Deoda Ant, and getting very sick of the pun names, I must admit. And his main attacks involve burrowing underground, which cause falling rocks to drop in on you. The best way to avoid them is to hide underneath the ledges, but you have to take care as he will burrow underneath you at some point. He also tries to fire pestilence at you from inside his pants, which is very weird, but it shouldn't give you any more trouble than the other bosses. It's the fifth and final set of levels, again repetitive, difficult. To be honest, it's not really worth reviewing this level, it's just more of the same. Well, here we are, the Boogermeister, the last boss of the game. Now, I have griped about this game being very short, but I've also griped about the repetitive nature, and that includes the boss fights, so maybe this wasn't too bad that it ended so quickly. The best way to kill this one is simple, just leap across the ledges when he comes towards you, avoid his fart, he'll either fart at ground level or he'll fart in the air. Now, it's hard to tell which way he'll go, so to speak, but if he farts in the air, your best way is to keep on the ledges and then jump up and take your chances that way. He'll take a lot more hits to kill than the usual bosses, but like I say, it shouldn't really give you too much trouble if you just keep going. And once you've scored enough hits, he'll fall into a conveniently placed toilet, giving you the classic villain line. I'll be back. Yes, I know, and I'm sorry. I am so sorry you had to hear that. Overall, Boogerman was a fun game to play. The graphics and the sound are pretty much what you'd expect from a Megadrive game, and as I said, the repetitive nature of the levels and the bosses are my main gripes with it, although I'd say it is fun to play. I'd give it 3 out of 5.